So all the dishes here are done on a wood fire. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಯಾರನ್ನ ಬಂದು ಹೊಸಬ್ರು ನೀವೇ ತಿಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಹಾ.
ನಾಳೆ ನೀವೇ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಬರ್ತೇವೆ.
ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಪೂರ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ.
Mutton chops.
Mutton chops.
Mutton liver.
Mutton liver.
Mutton khaima.
Mutton khaima.
Mutton fry.
Mutton fry.
Mutton gravy.
Mutton gravy.
Boti gravy.
Boti gravy. I definitely need a little more of the saru with that khaima. I love the flavor of that gravy. Hi folks, this is Kripal Amanna, Gourmet on the Road, and you're watching Food Lovers TV. We've stepped out for lunch today, about 50 kilometers away from Bengaluru. In fact, we just crossed hoskote and a line of biryani shops on the highway. As you know, hoskote is very famous for its early morning biryani that's typically served 3 or 4 times a week. But today we've made lunch plans, and we've made lunch plans to visit this town called Malur, which is roughly about 50 kilometers from Bengaluru. And I've heard of this mess there, a tiny mess called VENKOB RAO, that's been serving some delicious local uta for many years now. I'm told the fare here is simple but ruddy and flavorful. So needless to say, I'm looking forward to lunch here in Malur. VENKOB RAO ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಮುಂದೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೆ ಇದು?
4 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೆ.
नमस्कार सर. You originally Marathas, मराठी बोलता का? सर तुमचं नाव काय सर?
शिवाजीराव मोहिते.
तुम्ही मालूरचे लोक?
Yeah, come from Kanakpur, near Kanakpur.
Near Kanakpura.
Forefathers were there. Traveled to here.
So what I learned from Mr. Shivaji Rao is that their forefathers were settled in Kanakpura, and they had come there probably a couple of 100 years ago. They must have come from Maharashtra, and then 70 years ago they moved here, and his father-in-law Mr. VENKOB RAO is the founder of this, and that's why VENKOB RAO mess. What is special about the food here, sir?
That they are preparing masala only naughty masala prepared by us only, particularly. They are preparing masala.
सोडा असतं का काय असतं रशात
म्हणून मी थोडा ಬೇಗ ಬಂದೆ ನಾನು.
तुम्ही लेट झालं तर इथे जागा मिळत नाही.
हो ओके. सो म्हणून आता मी बसतो. हेवी क्राऊड असते.
चांगलं आहे. ओके.
वंडरफुल. सो ही सेज वेल इफ यू वेट फॉर अ लिटल लॉन्गर इट्स गोइंग टू बी व्हेरी क्राउडेड. आत बघू शकतो का?
आज जाओ.
हां. नमस्कार. इकडे कुकिंग वुडन फायर मध्ये करतात सगळे. So all the dishes here are done on a wood fire. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು?
ನಾವು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ನೀವು ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು MB ನಂಜುಂಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ಬಂದು ಈ ಹೋಟ್ಲು ಒಂದು 60 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ.
60 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ?
60 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಫೇಮಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನು ಮುದ್ದೆ ಏನು ಮಟನ್ನು, ಕೈಮಾ, ಲಿವರು, ಅನ್ನ, ರಸ. ಯಾರನ್ನ ಬಂದು ಹೊಸಬ್ರು ನೀವೇ ತಿಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾಳೆ ನೀವೇ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಬರ್ತೇವೆ.
ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಪೂರ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ.
ಇದು ಚಾಪ್ಸಾ? ಓಕೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಬೋಟಿ ಗೊಜ್ಜು.
ಬೋಟಿಗೆ.
Oh, that's again very popular here, the mutton fry. Liver fry, brown masala.
Number 1 ಊಟ.
Number 1 ಊಟ. when you come to a place and if the people are endorsing the food. So out here the people, Mr. Shivaji Rao, Manjunath, who's one of the cooks, all of them are very busy because they're bracing for the crowd that will come in. म्हणजे इकडे सगळे locals आहे जास्ती. Well, we've just emerged from the kitchen and they are bracing for the sea of customers. So they've arranged for us a small little private room which is where we're going to taste the delicious fare that is cooked over the wood fire here at VENKOB RAO mess in Malur. नाव काय तुमचं? गोपीनाथ राव. सो तुम्ही पण कुठे मराठा? तो मला एक चॉप्स द्या. खैमा आहे ना? कलेजी द्या. बोटी द्या आणि एक चिकन फ्राय. सो इकडे जास्ती मटन. सर्व एक एक प्लेट द्या मला. हां, मटन चॉप्स, मटन लिवर, मटन खैमा, mutton fry, mutton gravy. So Karnataka has a history of Marathas who migrated to this land a couple of 100 years ago or so. So basically they come from Maharashtra many generations ago, but they have settled here in Karnataka and made this land their own. So the food that they do is a unique combination perhaps of influences that come from Maratha traditions, but with the produce, with the flavors of the land that they're settled in. And the story of this particular eatery, VENKOB RAO too, is similar. So the forefathers basically settled around Kanakapura, and this I'm told probably 100 years, 200 years ago. And 70 years ago the family moved here to Malur and brought land and then set up this place. So this eatery that was established by Mr. Shivaji Rao's father-in-law goes back 70 years. Boti gravy. So this ragi mudde is the bedrock of the meal here. So that's the staple that they have here. It's basically the millet, and I think there's also some rice that goes into it. And the rice tends to make things a little softer. Then we have the khaima, which is the khaima unde. We have the chops, the mutton chops. There's the liver, the kaleji. This is a very popular dish here. This I'm told is the boti goju. And there is a mutton fry. Let's make a beginning with that green gravy. For some reason I can taste the flavor of some coconut there. That ragi mudda isn't glossy and smooth, but it's rather rough yet soft in the manner that it appeals to your palate. That's a gravy that's extremely flavorful. I think let's make a beginning with some of that chops. That is that mutton chops. The meat is not the sort that's tenderly melting. It has a bit of a bite, but is certainly rather soft, and the sort that literally slides off that bone. Let's taste some of that khaima. I think there's plenty of red chili that goes into this, because I can certainly detect a bit of the stain of the kara puri. You're also tasting somewhere there the flavor of the pepper, a little bit of the ginger garlic that goes into it, and also some of the kadle hittu that goes into bind it. I definitely need a little more of the saru with that khaima. I love the flavor of that gravy. Also, the gravy has a bit of smokiness to it, and perhaps that's because all the dishes out here are cooked on a wood fire. That mince is coarsely ground. You can bite into a bit of the granular texture of the meat, and of course you can taste a bit of that kadle to every once in a while, just to remind you that that keema has been held together by that gram flour. There's also a fair bit of spice that I'm detecting on my palate, and I think it's a combination of the green chilies and also the pepper. The green chili tends to give you that very pointed heat spike, whereas the pepper lengthens the warmth that you taste on your tongue. I can feel that chili on the tip of my tongue. Let's taste now that brown gravy. I think this is basically the gravy of the boti gujju. The gravy is packed flavor. In this gravy, I'm tasting more the flavor of the coconut and some of the freshness that comes from the coriander, perhaps a little bit of mint. Whereas in this one, that's the boti gujju gravy, I'm tasting more the flavor of some of the masala. Things like the coriander, the chili. There's also the coconut that's gone into it, and I think the coconut is the base for the curries that they do here. But they're very distinct in the flavors that you taste. Oh, I also have a piece of kidney in that mutton chop gravy.
Half rice.
Thank you, half rice. Rasam. The flavor of the kidney is absolutely clean. You know, so if it's not cleaned properly, sometimes you can taste that slightly off, gamey, animalish sort of a note. There's none of that. Delicious. So it tells you that these guys process the meat very well. Get some more of that ragi mutta into that mutton chops gravy. Absolutely delicious. The boti gravy and that mutton chops gravy, both are the sort that hit the spot. Well, I think I'm going to go for some of that white rice next. I've got half a portion. I've begun to enjoy the ragi mudde, but I must confess it's still not something that I'm used to, because the ragi mudde was never part of my diet growing up. The rice, the anna was, being a Mangalorean. And I tend to enjoy the meaty gravies more with the rice. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನನಗೆ ಬಿಸಿ ಇದು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಸಾರು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಗ್ರೇವಿ, ಬಿಸಿ ಗ್ರೇವಿ. ಓ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಇದು ಮಟನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೇವಿ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಇದು ಗೊಜ್ಜು, ಇದು ಬೋಟಿದು. I just love the flavor of that masala. The masala is also the sort that's a bit granular in its texture, which is certainly decipherable to the palate. I want to get some of that bisi gravy on this anna. Absolutely satisfying. The meat is also the sort that has some fat that's ribboned through it. Certainly a bit of the spice that I'm tasting at the back of my throat, including some chilies. So initially I was registering more the freshness of the coriander, but now I can certainly feel the assault of the green chili on the back of my throat. So that chops gravy, that chops masala certainly has a bit of spice. Let's now taste some of that boti. There's a bit of a chew there. The boti is cleaned absolutely well, so there's none of the grittiness that you will taste sometimes when the boti is not being cleaned. For me, up until now, my favorite was the chops and also the khaima. Although you can taste a bit of the gram flour in there, but there's enough of the chili and the garlic etc. that is to a certain extent balancing that slightly grainy powdery flavor of the gram flour. It's time to taste that liver. There's a thick gushy that's refusing to leave that saucer. So in places like these, they want the meat to have a bit of a bite. So even with respect to the liver, I'm certainly tasting that character. You got to chew on it hard to extract the flavor of that masala. The flavor of the masala though is the sort that resonates deeply on your palate.
तुम्ही झालं काय लोक वेट करत होते.
Okay.
धावा पण
Okay. 10 मिनिटं?
आज आणले माझं दुसरी शॉप.
10 मिनिटात.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, this is one of those places where they have very limited seating. So although I wanted to sit outside in the main hall, they said no, we want you to sit in this special room. But now I think they have run out of capacity there. So this is also probably one of those reviews that won't be the trademark kripal length. On that note, I think let's go for that mutton fry. I want to get some of that gushy on my piece of meat. I can taste in this now the flavor of some of the hard spices, perhaps some cinnamon that's gone into that fry, and also some cloves. So what's notable also is that all these dishes that I've tasted, be it the khaima, that mutton chops, the liver, the boti, and now the mutton fry, have their own unique flavor and identity. So each of these dishes is cooked from scratch on the wood fire, and that's what gives each dish its unique character. Let's get now that bisi green gravy, saru, and another piece of that khaima. You can see that kempu of that karapodi. You can see some turmeric too that's peeping through that. As the khaima unde cools down, you taste to a certain extent a little more of that texture of the gram flour. So if you want to eat the khaima unde, eat it hot or with some bisi gravy. There's also some rasam that's served to basically help you wash some of that meaty fare down. Definitely tasting a lot of the tamarind in that rasam, tamarind and the garlic. So if you want to taste some Maratha style Karnataka fare, 50 kilometers away from Bengaluru, and you happen to be in and around Hoskote, Malur, definitely check out VENKOB RAO mess. A warning though, get here early, 12:30 perhaps latest, because if you come post 1 o'clock, you'll have to contend with the teams of customers for whom lunch at VENKOB RAO mess in Malur is almost a daily habit. They're not open for breakfast or dinner. Lunch is all they serve, but certainly a delicious, spicy one at that. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay strong, and happy eating. Well, all the dishes that we've tasted amount to the princely sum of 1020. So this is a place that feeds you with flavor and also the sort that's rather light on the pocket. हे सगळे कुरी ना शीप आहे.
Sheep and goat.
दोघं यूज करतात का? व्हेरी गुड, थँक्यू सर.
ಸುಮಾರು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಕೈಮಾ ಮುದ್ದೆ ಚಿಕನ್ನು ಅದು ಬೋಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗತ್ತೆ.
ಸೊ ಊಟ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬೀಡ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
ಬೀಡ ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು.
ಸೊ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಲೂರ್ನವರು?
ಅಲ್ಲ,
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ
ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಹಳ್ಳಿ
local. So basically everybody here is from Malur and the villages around here. I'm just waiting out here outside Venkoba mess while my team is having lunch. And guess who do I meet? I meet my friend Anand from Anand Dum Biryani Hoskote.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
So ನೀವು ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ?
ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ.
Wonderful. So if Anand comes to Venkob mess ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀರ್ಬೇಕು.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 7-8 years ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮಾಲೂರ್ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಂಕೋಬ್ ರಾವ್ ಹೋಟ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರೋದು.
Wonderful. So anyway, happy eating. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!